Hello everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to be talking all things Apple. That's right, Apple decided to do some accessibility updates. And we are going to be talking about Apple accessibility. What you need to know. If you guys are in chat, say hi. Let's go ahead and get the conversation going. If you guys are at my channel for the first time, welcome, welcome. I am super excited to have you guys here today. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tech Christmas week. Yeah, I said that right. I feel like it's Tech Christmas week. We've had so many announcements that my Restream software, the where I stream, said that I've been streaming for over 4 hours this month, and that includes basically this entire week. So I've been streaming 4 hours yesterday and probably 2 or 3 today and probably some more tomorrow. So it's going to be nuts. So that's kind of how we're going to start this, is just kind of doing some introduction stuff. We're going to get into the juicy highlights. So if you guys are not subscribed, please do so, because we're going to have some fun. Marcel says hi. Thanks for doing this. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you. He has been a loyal supporter of this channel for a very long time, so I really thank you for coming here, Marcel. Okay, let me quick check Twitch, make sure everything is going golden there, and then we'll get started on this whole thing. Okay. So Twitch is going fine. Okay, good. So YouTube and Twitch are both synchronizing. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm gonna make sure my chat's working. It is. So let me go to my outline here. There we go. So I have a lot of stuff open. So we're just gonna start with this, and basically this is just gonna be a talking head video. I'm just gonna kind of explain what's going on. So. Let's see, we got a lot today, so this is going to be a pretty long one. So I want to talk about what this whole Apple accessibility announcement means for the community. So every year on May 16th, I think that's the day tomorrow, yes, is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Now, it's not always May 16th, it's every third Thursday in May. So Global Accessibility Awareness Day was created to help people to recognize the work that global accessibility professionals do. I should say just accessibility professionals, but it helps to recognize the work that we do as accessibility professionals. The Global Accessibility Awareness Day Foundation was created to help administer this day and also to list different events that are nearby. In fact, I am speaking at an event tomorrow for my employer, so you guys should look at that. I will send the link out in the community tab, so go ahead and register for that. And you guys, I'm going to be on a panel with a few other people, but if you guys want to hear me speak, I would appreciate you guys being there. If you for some reason missed it, that's okay. There's going to be replays coming out soon. So if you guys are interested in accessibility things, go to accessibility.day to see all the events that may be near you. And yes, there are a lot of events, so that is how that is structured. Now, why do we care about Apple's accessibility? Because it just seems like every year Apple does this. Well, we care because this is the time of year that Apple releases their accessibility changes for the upcoming iOS version, and macOS version, and visionOS version, and you name it, operating system version. All right, so this is the time of year that this happens. Now, with this being said, we know that Apple has a huge commitment to accessibility, so we're always looking for what they're going to do next, right? And there's a whole lot of features here, so I'm going to kind of go in order. And please chat in the chat box below if you guys have any questions, either on YouTube or Twitch. And if you guys want to interact and ask me questions, I am all ears. So go ahead and do that as well if you want to talk about different things. And yeah, that's kind of be how this stream works. And yeah, let's get started with the first item. Okay. So talk about the introduction. Main features. So eye tracking is the first one. Allows physical disabilities users to be able to navigate their iPhone and iPads with eye tracking movements instead of using hands or different things like that. Now, personally, this would not work for me as being blind because my eyes move and that would mess up the eye tracking. This is good though for maybe those who have issues with motor and can't use their hands as much or other things like that. I could see this being very useful for those people and maybe also those who, I don't know, need hands-free use of their phone. I know a lot of those. So this is a really cool feature and I'm glad that they did this. Now I'm not sure if this is for Macs either. I assume not because it didn't mention it. However, I always want to know, is this for Macs? So that's kind of a question. If anyone knows in the chat, please chat below. And yeah, let's talk about it in the comments. So if it's not on Macs, that is a shame, but maybe they could add that. We'll see. So eye tracking. Let's see what else we got here. It uses front-facing camera and data, on-device machine learning for data handling, aka it uses AI for data handling. So all this AI talk, AI. A lot of AI, and now here's more AI for you. Basically, it will use the on-device machine learning, or AI, to detect when your eyes move and try to activate different things, and that's how it works. And it's all secure, it's on-device, so you don't need to worry about it going to a cloud, which is awesome. So you could just keep everything safe. That is honestly how it should be. So that's kind of how it works. I don't see any privacy concerns here. It's just an accessibility feature, right? That's all it is. All right, so what else we got here? Any questions, though? Let's see if we have anything in the chat. I don't see any chats, but I'll give people a second. Okay, I don't see anything. The next thing we have is music haptics. So music haptics is great for maybe those who are hard of hearing or deaf, who can't hear music, but they still want to enjoy it. So how it works is that utilizes the Taptic. Hold on. Yeah, Taptic engine on iPhone. So that's kind of how this works. Now, if you're a developer, you actually can use an API, application programming interface, to make this work as well. So you can include this in your own apps, which is amazing. So if you've got a music app like Spotify or other things, you can include this haptic music in your app as well to make it more accessible. Now, Michael and I were talking this morning, and he said I might enable it. And yeah, I kind of agree. I wonder how it's going to sound. Some of these accessibility features also might be fascination for other users. So keep that in mind. Accessibility helps to make the entire interface usable for everyone, not just accessibility features. So accessibility is a win for everyone, right? And it's very important that we figure that out. We think about that. So, what else do we got here? Sorry, I keep going between windows because I'm making sure everything is set up good, but not really with the stream, but I'm just making sure that there's no chat in case my chat decides to cut itself off. Any questions in the chat? Let's see what we got. I don't think I have anything as of yet in my chat, but I'm just going to wait a second and then we'll move on to vocal shortcuts. So yeah, we'll see what people have to say, but I don't think there is anything. Let me make sure. No. Okay, vocal shortcuts. Custom utterances to launch shortcuts and complete tasks. Now this is good for those who have speech impediments, where their speech may be abnormal or they may be afraid of losing their voice. So vocal utterances are great so that people can use shortcuts using, vocal utterances, basically a custom sound that the S lady will associate with so that it can open shortcuts. I find this really fascinating, especially for people at my work who may have speech impediments. So yeah, I find it really fascinating and I'm super excited that they announced this. And again, it enhances speech with, it enhances speech for users with not typical speech patterns. So that's pretty important, not typical speech patterns. So pretty important. I'm very excited about that. All right, what else we got here? Let me make sure. Okay, I'm just making sure. But yeah, any comments in the chat? Let's see if we have anything. Hold on. All right, so I don't think I have anything in this chat. Nope. So let me see here. Okay, so there we go. I don't have anything here. So vehicle motion cues as our next item on the list. Excuse me. So it reduces motion sickness with animated dots representing vehicle motion. Now, I sometimes have motion sickness, like if I'm on a bus, but I don't know how that's going to work with the animated motion dots. I'm very interested in how that's going to work. If anyone knows any more than I do, go ahead and put it in the chat, and let's see if we can't get a conversation going, because it's very interesting. We also have uses built-in sensors in iPhone and iPad, obviously. So this does work on iPad, not just iPhone. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you're using your iPad, like on a train or in a car, it will still work here as well. So hopefully reduce motion sickness. I like this accessibility feature. I'm glad somebody took the time to do it. And I think it could make a huge difference. We'll see. Okay. CarPlay updates. Voice control, color filters, and sound recognition. Okay. Alerts for car horns and sirens for people who are hard of hearing and deaf. Great. I'm glad. That way people are able to understand when there's sirens. Marcel says the motion sickness feature will be great for people when they can use self-driving cars. Yeah, I think that would be great too. I didn't think about the self-driving aspect, but maybe, that is a possible use case. Although I think that another thing is like just in other cars, right, besides self-driving, or even on a bus or a train. But I don't know how it will work there either, if it will. So those are the questions that I have about this feature, is if it will work on trains and cars and things. So we'll see. All right. Vision OS. Now this is interesting. So I have a couple thoughts on this one particularly. Vision OS, yeah, very interesting. So system-wide live captions for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. Awesome. It's about time. But see, this is the thing. If you're having a live conversation, it will auto-generate captions from what Michael and I are able to understand. Now, Michael does have a Vision Pro, so I'm curious to test it. And so we'll see how this goes. Additional visual accessibility features like reduced transparency, smart invert, and hold on, let's see. Dim flashing lights. So the thing is about this, I like this whole Vision Pro accessibility thing. The thing I don't like about it though is that why don't they add other blind accessibility features? Like I like what they're doing, but I felt like they could have took a step further. Like why don't they add magnification or things like that? That's just kind of my opinion. So, okay. Now, here are some more random updates that weren't in any particular category. So, we're kind of getting down to the end. I kind of expected more chat, but that's okay. Wonder7323, I think that's what your name is. Hi, Arndt. Great to hear your voice today. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I love streaming and I love trying to teach people about accessibility. That's my goal on this channel, and I love covering big tech news. So that's my goal in this channel. Okay, what else we got here? What else? Okay, so random updates. Yes, we have a bunch of these. So voiceover voices. About time. But how about Apple, instead of you remaking voiceover voices or making them, can we just like scrap voiceover altogether and rewrite it? Because it's so lackluster on Mac OS from iOS and iPad OS. And yeah, of course, Vision OS, it needs to be like figured out as well. But the Mac is really lagging. Like, I use Windows because the Mac voiceover is lackluster. So it would be really great if we could redo voiceover. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I know Jaws needs to be redone as well. But come on, guys. Like, this is, I don't know, it's so lackluster. Or they just should put the iOS voiceover in Mac. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Let me know some thoughts. But honestly, personally, I like this because, of course, I am blind, so I care about these features dearly. However, we need to really think about making voiceover better than it is. New voices are great, but they're not going to solve our problems like we need voiceover to solve our problems. Yes, we already have a lot of voices on Mac, but we really need a rewrite, like I keep saying. That's the way that we can make sure it works. Or just simply port the voiceover from iOS to Mac OS. Again, I don't know how feasible that is. I don't work at Apple. I don't claim to work at Apple. But those are kind of some things that I would say, right? So we need to make sure that we do this. Because if we don't, voiceover is just going to keep lagging behind Windows. And when is it ever going to catch up? I just don't know. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts. So yeah, new voiceover features for Mac. I don't really know what they are. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's very, very lame, my opinion. Actually, I'm going to look up what these are. We also have improved Braille screen input. All right, that's great. Marcel says, are you finding that there's a big difference between Mac OS and iOS accessibility? Yes. Specifically with voiceover. I don't know from the magnification side, so Michael would have to talk about that. Maybe he'll talk about that later. By the way, guys, stick around later because Michael has his new iPad today, so we're going to be unboxing that. So I'll put a link in the community tab for where that's happening. So please, if you're not subscribed, I urge you to do that so that you can stay followed on all of my content because we're going to have a lot this week. So, yes, I think that there's a huge discrepancy, Marcel, between the voiceover on the Mac and the voiceover on the iOS and accessibility in general. So, great question. So, what else we got? Okay. Personal voice in Mandarin Chinese. So remember they introduced this last year, personal voice, where you can like record your voice. It'll kind of be a personal voice that you can use, like if your people are afraid that they can lose their voice or they have trouble speaking. Again, this is great. I've heard people trying to use this to like make speech synthesizers out of. Probably not the intended use, but hey, people do what they want to. I've heard people doing that. So it's a great accessibility feature. I think people are using it for other things too, which is awesome, right? This is why I say accessibility means universality. Universality. Whatever. Words. So yeah, that means universality. Basically saying if something's accessible, it's going to be universal for everyone, and then other people might want to take advantage of it. If it's not, then, well, that's just going to be problematic because no one will want to use it because it's not accessible. I mean, I'm kidding. But the general public will figure out that it's not accessible, and they may not want to use it, especially if the disabled users are like, we can't use it either. So, well, long story short, what I'm trying to say is accessibility could create a domino effect, depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to win more customers, accessibility needs to happen. Important. All right, what else we got? Live speech enhancements. Yes, this is kind of like the live conversation stuff, like I was talking about. But again, I think that we need to, have this system wide. But I also think that it should be for like notes and things, like if you're doing a meeting and you record, it should be system-wide. I don't know. I feel like they should use more AI for accessibility stuff. Like, I just saw yesterday that Google I/O for Android is using AI to describe unlabeled images. Now, disclaimer alert. Okay, you're saying, oh, Taylor, they're using AI to, label images. So why do I need to put alternative text? Isn't that, like, so obsolete in 19th century now? No. Seriously. Yes. We need to make sure that, oh crap, I lost my train of thought because that was a good chat message. We need to ensure that we keep alternative text at the core of the accessibility world. Look, I'm not going to say anything is deprecated unless it's deprecated from the World Wide Web Consortium W3C. As far as I'm looking, unless something has automatically changed in the last 24 hours, there's still a guideline called 1.1.1 non-text content that it must be accessible. So, I am urging developers and designers who are watching this video, and if you are, great, I really like it, I like to spread the message, please just for the love of all things add alternative text. Don't think that Google is just going to do it for you because chances are 99.999% of the time it's wrong. And yes, you may think that I'm an AI hater, but I'm not actually. It's just I'm giving you real facts about how AI can sometimes hurt people with disabilities in terms of alternative text. And don't get me started about overlays either. That's a whole other topic. I won't go into this because that's wholly unrelated. But if you want to stream about overlays, just put something in the chat and I might schedule something. So, yeah, anyways, we got chat messages. What else we got here? So, we have, hold on, Marcel. Hold on. All right, Marcel says, do you think that the marketing and the AI and all this, stuff is helping to influence companies, but yet they should be working on the disabled users and what they want? Oh, yeah. I think they're just trying to get more features out, saying that they're doing something to be accessible, when in reality, they should really try to, fix some of their bugs. Because you know what? That means more to me than getting out new features. Yes, if there's something monumental, great. But honestly, we need a bug fix. That is huge. If we don't have a bug fix, it's just going to be bugs on top of bugs on top of bugs on top of bugs. You get it? You know what I'm saying. Bugs, 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 bugs. We don't need any more bugs. I know we're going to have them because it's software development, all right? I'm a software developer too. But what we need to fix these bugs. And we need to make sure that accessibility is better and just, make it more usable for people. Not just accessible, not just compliant, but usable for people. That's very important. Usability versus accessibility. Again, that's a whole other topic. I won't try to get off topic here, but what I will say here is, look, usability is different in a sense, and you want to make sure it's both accessible, compliant for the guidelines, but also usable for people with disabilities, such as myself. Okay, what else we got here? So, what else? Okay. Live speech enhancements. Virtual trackpad for assistive touch. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this does, but I assume it's something with, the trackpad and making it more accessible. But again, I don't really use assistive touch all that much, so, that might be something that I will come back on later once I figure out exactly more what it does. But that is something that is pretty important as well. So, again, Apple addressed everything for all the different accessibility groups. From deaf, hard of hearing, cognitive, although I didn't, hard of hearing, cognitive, blindness, all that stuff. So they did a pretty good job. Now, let's see. Okay, so here's a celebration that they said. There's Apple Store sessions at Accessibility tomorrow. Really cool about that. And then there's also some Apple TV and fitness and other curated collections that are accessible. So really, really cool. Apple's doing a great job for accessibility. Now, I want to talk about one more thing real quick. And that is Google versus Apple. Who is doing the best for accessibility this year? So the reason I want to talk about this is because Google is leading the way right now. Again, look, I'm not saying that I'm going to take my iPhone, wherever it is, and switch to this Android phone. Because personally, I'm holding up a Pixel 5. This Android phone is not my main driver. And I don't like Android as much. However, key thing here, y'all, is that Android may get more of a market share from disabled people because of what was announced yesterday at I.O. And if you have not seen that stream, you need to go watch that as well. I know it's long, but you might want to go fall asleep to it or watch a TV show and kind of listen to it. But it is very important because there's some accessibility features in there, and I need to do a video about that as well. But actually, I might be doing a Google I.O. boom or bust stream later, so keep an eye on the live streams. Keep an eye on my social media, Arndt at Techopolis.social Mastodon, so you guys can find me there. And, keep an eye because I may be doing some streams like that as well later. But, long story short, Apple's image direction, really, recognition is not as good, in my opinion, as Google's. Right now. Now, this could happen later on. It could be better. But if, for example, Google said yesterday, one person may see 90 unlabeled images per day. Now, 90 is a generous minimum. In my opinion, it feels like 900 some days. But whatever. A huge number that should never happen. And Google will help to try to label these images. Now, my fear here is, they've been doing this in Chrome for a while. As you know, maybe you don't. But the problem is, it may not be accurate. So, you may think, oh, it's one thing, right? You may think, oh, it's just a bag of, I don't know. Maybe it's just an Android phone. But it could be something else in particular. Like, it could be some other phone, or it could label it as a computer. I don't know. That's just a drastic example. Long story short, if you add Google's alternative text and labels and you rely on that, like I told you not to 5 minutes ago, then you may be having worse issues because then it may be inaccurate and then that'll be worse yet. So long story short, don't leave out alt text. Just don't do it. You will thank me later when, you'll thank me later when you realize that your users can't use your website because of your crappy alt text that you wanted to take the cheapskate route on, and you just did that anyway without, even thinking about it. Trust me, alternative text makes a huge difference. That is one of the number one barriers I see as an accessibility professional day to day in my job. So, what do I think? Well, I have 3 main takeaways for y'all. And here's the thing. 1, Google and Apple are neck and neck in accessibility right now in most reasons. Now, why am I talking about Google for Apple accessibility? Well, I'm trying to compare what I'm trying to think between Google and Apple. And again, I'm going to do a big stream on this later, but long story short, Google and Apple are both doing accessibility. What I do notice is that Apple does not talk about accessibility in their keynotes where Google does. Okay. Also, Apple has good image detection and it has features like the door detection and other things in magnifier. But Google is doing a lot more with like Project Astra with glass and things like that. So that is something to keep in mind as well. And then we also have other features in terms of what they already have. So for example, if I have Gemini Advanced, I could take a YouTube video with code in it, and I can have Gemini extract the code from the screen. So basically it's using computer vision. So this is helpful as well if you're trying to learn to code. So I feel like they're neck and neck right now, but I feel like Google may have a slight advantage. So I'm just going to have to see what happens at WWDC, which, by the way, you guys should stay tuned for that. That's June 10th. Because there might be more updates from Apple's side of the fence. Now, what are y'all's thoughts? Let's take some Q&A for a little bit and see if we can answer some questions based on what I told you guys today. So anything and everything, let's do some Q&A about Apple or anything I said. And if we don't, then we will go ahead and do some other things. But I want to get some Q&A from the chat. All right. Super Blindman says, it feels like there's a whole lot of misdirection going on right now. Yes, there is. There's a whole lot of misdirection. There's a whole lot of things that are totally, I don't know what to say, totally broken. Not really broken, but totally, like, half-baked in accessibility. Like, they try to do this, but it doesn't work. Like, I don't know. It's very interesting, y'all. Yeah, it's interesting. So half-baked, misdirection, I totally agree. So Super Blindman, you're on the money about that. And yeah, please follow Super Blindman as well, because he does great gaming content. And oh yeah, just follow him. He's one of my other creator friends. So definitely, I agree with you, Super Blindman. Any other questions from the chat? What do we got? Let's do a few more of these, and I'm gonna kind of see what y'all's thoughts are. And even if you don't have any chat messages, that's okay. But you could also comment in the video if you think about something later as well. So, or if you want to talk to me directly after the video, you could get me on social media. So I have a lot of different ways of chatting. So, for those who are just joining us, I see we have some new viewers, which is amazing. Thank you for being here. We're doing an Apple comparison for accessibility, talking about the new features. And we went through everything, and now we're just doing a Q&A. So if you want to talk about something, go ahead and put it in the chat. And let's get the conversation rolling. Let's see what else we have. We have... Hold on. I think I have a Mastodon post. Just a second. Okay, so yes. I have a Mastodon post. And basically they said, I totally agree with you, and thank you for the stream. Yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you. Sorry. I totally agree with you. I thank you, and I'm glad that you enjoy my content. We also have... Hold on, let's see what else we have. Hold on. Okay, so we have a couple more things that are just random that I forgot to cover. The marketing and things, I covered that a little bit earlier from Marcel, but yes, marketing and things have stuff to do with the decisions, right? If you're a marketer, you're like, I don't want to fix bug fixes, because how am I going to market that rather than like, ooh, let's do this shiny new feature. So definitely a huge direction lead is the marketing. Direction lead, really. A huge influence for direction is marketing. Right? You want to make sure that you're actually doing what marketing wants, or that way you can get more sales. Because ultimately the game of business is sales. And in order to get sales, you're going to have to innovate. And so that's, I think, one of the issues, that you're trying to innovate, but you also need to fix your bugs so that people will come back to you. It's a definite game of balance. All right, what else do we got in the chat? What else do we got? What else? Okay, so I think that's all I have, unless someone else puts a question in. If you do, that's great. And if you guys have not liked and subscribed to my channel and commented and told your friends, I would really recommend it, because I'm trying to get up to 700 subscribers. So if you want to help me out, that's great. I sincerely appreciate it. I'm trying to do this by the end of the week. And if you're on Twitch, let's get up to 50 followers, please. I'm at 43 the last time I checked my stats. And yeah, let's try to get up to 700 on YouTube and 50 on Twitch. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for videos that you would like me to make, please go ahead and put them in the comments, or get a hold of me on Mastodon or X at Arndt, or on the other social media like LinkedIn. And let's start a community, and let's start talking, because that's the thing I'd like to do, is I like to get people talking about tech. So what else do we have? Let me take one more question. I don't think I have anything else. So I'm just going to wait a couple minutes, and otherwise, I think, y'all, this has been a great accessibility overview of Apple's features. And I keep telling everybody, be on the lookout, because we're going to do an iPad unboxing later, so be on the lookout. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff. I might do some Hearthstone later this evening as well, so a lot more game stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for the day, y'all. So Have a wonderful day and happy GAAD tomorrow. I'm going to temporarily do a question and answer tomorrow for GAD. We'll see if I have time, but be on the lookout. I might post something spontaneously. Stay on the lookout and get notifications. Put the notification bell so that you know when I go live. All right, everyone. Well, I think this is going to do it for the day. Happy Wednesday. And if you're getting a new iPad, awesome. If you're not, that's okay too. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.